Welcome back to Ship, a team building focused podcast. This is episode 13. It's here, y'all. I'm here to talk through and work through a very special and important subject for all companies or businesses: building a better team with the customer in mind. This is missing from everyday life. There are companies large and small that have forgotten who are paying their bills, who are paying their salaries of the company that individual works for. Trust me on this. You see it. Thank you to everybody that has returned and given me feedback. Any feedback is welcome. The only way I'm going to be able to make this a more enjoyable and usable podcast is for you guys, the subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe here on YouTube or follow me on LinkedIn. There's going to be some more content rolling out the second half of the year that I'm really excited about. So please, anything that you can throw my way would be perfect. If you would like to talk to me, please drop me an email. It's shown above, and I would love to have a conversation with you. RA Enterprises is here to help everybody. Anyone you can learn, anyone can help. Over my years as the Director of Operations at Premier Logistics Partners, I've seen and learned how a good team can impact others. RA Enterprise is how I'm giving back. It's how I'm serving others and helping to make every organization I come in contact with a better organization. This is also making me a better person. It's making me a better husband, a better father to my kids, as well as a better leader in Premier Logistics Partners. Ripped from the headlines this week. Well, it's sort of a weird one because I want to talk about law enforcement a little bit. Border Patrol agents seized about $500,000 worth of cocaine hidden in the bottom of a truck. I'm supposed to be hauling cotton candy, y'all. This is nuts. The law enforcement agents, especially the border agents, do a great job protecting our borders. But the guys that actually work the border, that inspect these trucks coming over, trying to find every little cubby, every little hidden space, they're not there to hinder our American ways, or even the Mexicans that are coming over the border to visit and to give us tourism dollars in the border area. They're here to protect us. Illegal drugs coming in this country is a very big thing. It's very dangerous for those border agents as well. So thank you very much to all those border officers that found it. Thank you for your hard work and your dedication. On today's episode, I want to talk about something that is dear to my heart right now for many reasons, personal, business, my friends, my family. Flexibility. Flexibility within the workplace, flexibility within the team, and how that flexibility can really harness the power of that team. I've done this several times throughout the foundation and the level of trust, right? So when you have that level and you have an unbreakable bond of your team, comes some flexibility. From time to time, you're going to need to be able to flex to make different, I wouldn't say concessions, but you need to be able to flex to help your employees out, right? Your team members out. No matter what time of day it is, what time of year it is, employees are going to have different things going on. Team members are going to have things going on. And it is very important as you, as upper management, leadership, team leads, departmental managers, even team managers, just depends on how your company's put together. You got to understand that, morale and buy-in from your team, flexibility plays a vital role into that. I can't speak more about that other than to continue talking about this today. It's one of those things that every company struggles with. How much flex do you show? You don't want to show favoritism towards this employee or that employee, but you want to keep your good employees. You do not want your good employees to start looking for a job and then leave your company. If you've had team players that have left the company, ask them about that. I encourage you, have the flexibility when somebody leaves your company to do an exit interview. It's vital to the success of your future of a business. I can't, just there's so much power with that. Knowledge of this is very powerful. Why? Well, for instance, if you have a very stringent, you must work in a box, you can't leave the box, it's the box, it's the box, right? You're going to have people that work very well in that kind of atmosphere, that kind of environment. And you have others that don't, for a multitude of reasons. So you have to have some flexibility to make that box more of a circle from time to time. I think it's very important to look at the dynamics of remote work and hybrid work within the flexible content here. A lot of times, well, since COVID, multiple companies have had full bore staff at home. They brought only essential staff and leadership back into the office, while non-essential staff are able to still stay working at home. But that environment is definitely changing. I would caution any 100% return to office. The younger generation, I'm old. I am definitely old. I like being able to see my staff members, see my team members, talk to them, go hang out, talk about sports. In our ops area at PLP, we have a big screen TV up on the wall that we typically have some sports going, or something. There's always something you can always talk about and interact in. So to me, the person-to-person interaction is very, very vital and key. But you have to be flexible. Now, when we talk about other types of flexibility, within just the team environment, you need to be flexible with, in my opinion, there's a lot of roles and a lot of teams that have to have very structured, start times, very structured break times, and very structured lunch times. If you are in one of those environments, it has to be very, very structured, right? It has to be done the same day, the same time, every day, and there's no excuses. Well, find some way to still be flexible in that. Let your team members swap lunch times. Let them swap their break times. That's vital. Giving that little bit of flexibility to somebody's break might mean them getting a successful phone call to a doctor or a successful phone call to a loved one. That impact can just harness power within that it'll come out towards your customers. That person's going to return to their workstation and they're going to be like, hey, I was able to talk to Bobby Sue. I haven't talked to Bobby Sue in 3 years. I'm so glad she's doing well. She's my sick aunt that has cancer. Again, those small things go a long way with a lot of employees. So again, if you're an extremely structured environment and team, find some small, minute way to be flexible. Maybe if you work in a big building that there's hundreds or thousands of employees, and it's more of a business address type atmosphere, slacks, nice shoes, polo shirt or button-down shirt. Find a day to throw a wacky day in. Personally, just me, once a week, twice a month, have a theme day, like a college sports day or sports day, a Hawaiian shirt day. There's all sorts of ways that you can be flexible even with your dress code as you go through and harness the power and the morale boost that will come from that in your team. I'm talking from personal experience, but I'm also talking from just, friends and family. When your environment is one that you're happy to be in, if you're in a stressful job, if you're in a mundane, repetitive cycle job that nothing changes in your role or process day to day or month to month, you have to find ways to excite your team, ways to make them bounce out of their chair. Be like, yeah, my phone's ringing. Awesome, let's pick it up. This is Eric. How can I help you? Stuff like that. Think about when you go to Chick-fil-A. I've never been in a Chick-fil-A that I've met anybody that works there that's just like, yep, can I take your order, please? Thank you very much. You don't see that. They're bouncing around. They have great attitudes. They have a lot of energy, no matter what they're doing on that team. And again, how may I serve you, right? Think about some of the words that you use to help your customers when you're answering the phone. Maybe you need to have a poll. Take a poll of your team. Say, hey, we've been answering the phones like this for the last 35 years. How do you guys think we should answer the phone? Again, having the flexibility and just when you're an extremely structured team will pay dividends. Now, if you have a team that's a little not so stringent, meaning 8 a.m. you're on the phone because you got an earpiece and you got calls just coming in because you got customers that call into a call center, it's a little different when you have more of a different work environment. If you come in and one of the first things you do is open your inbox and Outlook or whatever you might use for your emails to look and see and just start working email by email at that point, yeah, that's great. You can come in and get your cup of coffee. Maybe it takes you 10 minutes to actually get to your seat to open up your email. Be flexible in that. Flexibility is key to morale. More than anything, it's key to energy. Having flexibility will create energy within your employees. I guarantee you that. If somebody is not feeling well, and that, again, we're talking now hybrid schedule, right? So they're at home some days and at the office some days. If somebody's not feeling good, they can still work, but they just don't feel good. And they need to come to the office. Call an audible on that. Say, no, Jane, stay at home. It's okay. Stay at home. You got everything you need at home? Do your job. Log in. Work your emails. Run your quotes. Place the orders. Review the diagram. Look at the blueprints. That is stuff that they can already do remote because they already have a remote portion of their job, right? So they're already set up. They have a workstation at home. They have an office at home where their undivided attention is still on work for 8 hours. Again, that's vital. You're not feeling good. Stay at home. It's okay. Stay at home. Something comes up with the kids, and you gotta shuffle schedules. My wife can't get the kids today to cheerleading practice. It falls on me. I'm dad, right? So be flexible in that. You will be so surprised when you throw flexibility into your workplace, how your employees will react. More employees these days value their at-home time, the flexibility within their jobs or their schedule. It's almost like the old days of getting a raise. It's getting a fat raise energizes everybody. There are some individuals that honestly they care less about the money. They like the ability to work at home, have flex hours at the office if they come into the office, being able to switch schedules with people very fluidly, not having to go through upper management for it. And those are all things that harness that morale, harness that power, that energy. And then you get someone that's just like, yeah, right? Because that's what they do. Inside their heart starts to pounce a little more. The energy and the passion for what they do, and the customers at the other end will see it in their emails. The customers on their end will hear it in their voice when they're talking to them. The results will multiply for your business. Having a little bit of flexibility. Now, I'm not talking about, just unhinged. Anybody can decide whatever they want, right? There still should be some type of hierarchy on that in a way. There should be some guidelines to be, so everybody understands that. But, we're in a different age. This is not the 60s and 70s or even the 80s for that matter. The days of very stringent time frames and punching the clock is over in a lot of industries. Now, it's not for every industry, it's not for every application, but it is for some of them, okay? My job as a transportation broker, I can do from anywhere on the planet, literally. I can be on a cruise ship. Theoretically, I could be in an airplane because Wi-Fi on an airplane these days. I could be in the middle of the mountains. I could be here at my house right now where I am. I could be at the office. I could be on vacation in a hotel room or rental home. So, folks, Excuse me about that. But no, I have a job that I can do from anywhere. I'm lucky in this career. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying I have the best job in the world. It's very stressful. But I have a lot of flex on different things that I can do. I have flex at the office whether or not I can put on Fox News or ESPN or the Golf Channel in my office because I do have a TV on my wall in my office. Out in our big operations area, we have a big screen up. I think it's a 50 or 55 inch. And again, flex. We can put up baseball during college football, during the bowl games, we can put a bowl game up there. Golf, the golf majors, we can put that up there. The team can watch that. We just have flex, and it's really not even flex that I really am thinking about or talking about here. It's just whatever harnesses the power and the energy of your team. Being flexible in different ways and different things is key. But more than anything, it's the energy that you can harness out of that. Have fun. Part of the fish philosophy is having fun. You have to have fun in business. If you don't, you will burn out. Anybody will tell you that, right? Throw fish around. That's what they do. I talked about it in one of my first couple episodes. Have things around that harness the power of your team. That it doesn't matter if it's a couple people in that team. It doesn't matter if it's a 50 staff member team. Whatever you can do to have all 50 people. Let's say it is 50 people. Get them in some type of group conversation. If you're at a siloed job where you have to report to an office, you have 50 people on the floor. Have them get in huddles like every 2 hours or something. Hype them up. The flexibility for them to get out of their chairs. Get out of their chairs. I'm telling you, harness the power of flexibility. Flexibility in every aspect of everybody's position. Now, you're going to have employees that take advantage of that flexibility. And you have to have the ability to understand that and react to that without punishing the rest of them and without being overbearing and micromanaging. The worst thing you can do as a manager or a leader is to say, there's Eric over there taking advantage of the fact that we have napping pods. He's constantly in that napping pod. I don't see how he gets his work done. That's the wrong attitude. 100% the wrong attitude. By the way, we don't have those at PLP. Maybe we get them in the future, Doug. But seriously, you have to have a way to address the ones that step over the line. And you have to have a way to identify the ones that have stepped over the line. You can't make just an off-winded comment about it. You truly have to pay attention to it. Small organizations will fail faster for employees not, keeping up with the team or keeping up with the ball. Because if someone, especially in my group, it's operations. We're operating things. We're getting things done. Customers put a shipment into our system. It has to get to a carrier. If we're not working, that means it doesn't get to the carrier. It doesn't get picked up. Customer gets upset. So back to sort of where I started, flexibility. Every department can have it. Every team can have it. Every organization can have it. Think about what your leadership has together and has put together for your teams. Multi-billion-dollar companies all the way down to the mom and pops that run a gas station or a convenience store that don't make, maybe $1 million, $500,000 a year in profit. Think about all the people that work for you. Think for all the people that will continue to work for you. Flexibility, harnessing that power, making sure that foundation and that trust level that you have with your group doesn't have any holes. You do not want holes. Because with holes, water runs through, ice falls through, bark falls through. You want a powerful team, a team that is stepping together, walking together, because when they are, your customers will love you. That +1, right? Think back to Raven fans and +1. Sometimes having that motivation, having that flexibility will launch that team into +1, will launch that customer into loving you and turning them into a loyal fan, a raving fan. And then what are they going to do? They're just going to talk and tell all their friends. Their friends are going to call you, and they're going to get that great power that you're harnessing with your team in that interaction. And they're going, oh my gosh, this organization, wow, I've not been treated like that. I want to continue doing business with them. Sometimes it's not about price, y'all. Sometimes it's darn right just about service and how you treat your customers. But you have to have a team that understands how to treat your customers with that energy. I'm telling you, flexibility. That's a key to harnessing that power. Shout out corner. Well, this is going to be a weird one. I've been gone the last couple of weeks with a couple of different things, and took the family hiking. But there was a very big sporting event 2 weekends ago. It's Kentucky Derby. And this past weekend, I went to a 2-day music festival called Rock the Country. You know, the volunteers in the concert and the special events people that put on these workers, some of them are volunteers. Some of them are paid staff. Some of them, you know, that's their career. We would never have the level of intensity that comes around the fan watching the Kentucky Derby if it wasn't for those special event coordinators and the special event staff members. The Rock the Country was in Rome, Georgia. It was with Kid Rock and Jason Aldean. And there was a bunch of rain that happened up there. They brought in more sand, more hay, more gravel to try and make that place where like 30 or 40,000 people could get to watch both of those performers. It was incredible the way that they transformed that area. But it all happens because of special event volunteers and workers. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much, because I had an excellent time at Rock the Country. But then the other side of it, I had a heck of a time watching the Kentucky Derby. My horse came in second. But you know something? My gosh, we might get a Triple Crown winner. We got the second leg of the Triple Crown coming up this weekend. So with the Preakness. So it'll be very, very interesting what happens there. But again, complete shout out to all special event workers and volunteers and concerts and 5K runnings and stuff like that. Anything you can work at and volunteer that brings a large group of people together. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Quote of the week corner. Well, we're going to stay with the horse racing theme here. And the quote is, if Jack Nicklaus can win the Masters at 46, I can win the Kentucky Derby at 54. Now, I pointed at me just because of the way the quote was read. But that is from a gentleman by the name of Bill Shoemaker. Again, if Jack Nicklaus can win the Masters at 46, which, by the way, Jack is the oldest winner of the Masters. Is that right still? I think that is right still. I might be getting that mixed up right now. But he won it in 1986. It was actually really, really funny because Bill Schumacher was one of the greatest jockeys to ever lived, and he made history also in 1996 by being the oldest to win the Kentucky Derby. He also held the record for most professional horse wins for 29 straight years. That's sort of like Tiger Woods staying at world number 1. I don't follow horse racing that often, but dude, that's stellar. He's a jockey. So he's being bounced around from different, stables, different owners, different horses. 29 years he held that record. And plus, he had 11 wins of the big 3 races. So that's Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont, also known as the Triple Crown. He had 11 of those that he was jockeying for. Y'all, that is absolutely awesome. So thank you, Bill Shoemaker. Well, come to that time where I got to say goodbye. But drop me a line or an email at the email address above, and hope to interact with you. Again, please subscribe and follow me here on YouTube or as LinkedIn. And I hope everybody has a blessed week. Thank you for watching and listening. Till the next episode. Bye-bye.